Hello everyone, I am back tonight. I'm going to go ahead and revisit a film that Matt and myself, well, it was mostly myself. He hasn't even seen it. I don't even think he's seen it yet. So, sadly, my attempt to get him to see it did not work. But the movie is Mr. Accident with the forgotten Yahoo Serious. Yeah, I decided to go back and watch this because the video we posted, I wouldn't say I got a lot of flack, but there was a couple comments that said, that they respect our opinion, but they love Yahoo Serious, and you know, I didn't know Yahoo Serious still had like a big cult following, but evidently he does because a lot of these people felt like they needed to give their opinion. So because of that, I decided to go back and watch this. And do I have a change of heart? Well, I can say that I think a little bit better of the movie now, but I still don't think it's a good movie. Um, One thing is that I can tell you I maybe laughed about once or twice uh, through this rewatching of it, which, it's a comedy and I'm not really laughing, so that's a problem. But I'll tell you, I thought the one part where the one character's like, he has one of those like ear things on. And he's like talking to the phone, and then Yahoo Serious is like making his coffee, and he's like, "Ooh, how many cups of sugar do you want?" And then the boss like is yelling out like seven into the phone, and then Yahoo Serious is like seven. He's like, "I said when I say seven, I mean seven." I was sort of laughing at that. So Yahoo's like sitting there like seven seven cups of sugar into the coffee, and all of a sudden he goes, "You know what? Let's make it eight." Okay. And then all of a sudden he started talking about chili, where he's like, "Is there anything else I can put into your coffee?" He's like, "Chili. I want chili in there." He's like, "Chili?" And then you see him like pull out chili powder and start dumping it into his coffee, where he got the chili powder. I don't know, but okay. Guess you always have to have chili powder lying around just in case someone needs it in their coffee, I guess. So I really got a kick out of that scene. Like, I was actually laughing pretty hard at that part. Uh, but yeah, that's really the only thing I can remember laughing at, really. Um, it's just, like I said in the previous review of it, I really love the art direction in this movie. It's very colorful. Um, all the props looked great, the way that they were laid out, and in the cinematography, the color looks really good in this movie. Like, it really pops out at you, and I really like that about the movie. I give the film very high praise when it comes to the art direction of it, and I guess the cinematography as well. um, and I guess another thing I can praise is that I wasn't looking at the clock at all while I was watching the movie. Like, lately, there have been a lot of movies I've been watching where I am constantly like sitting there just like, how much longer is this movie gonna go on? Probably the biggest one is Gotti. Me and Matt and myself actually watched Gotti together with John Travolta, and we were like, okay, how much longer does this fucking piece of shit movie have? And it had like an hour and a half left to go, and we were like, should we just stop watching it? And it's like, well, we can't badmouth it if we haven't watched it all the way through, so we have to press on, man. We gotta press on and watch this fucking piece of shit. And oh my god, Gotti. I'm sure if me and Matt, or I keep always saying that, I think you probably would notice that from previous videos. I say me and Matt a lot, but the proper grammar is Matt and me. So I want to clear that up because I've been noticing it in past videos. So I'm sorry. I'm not grammatically great at talking, so sorry. But anyway, what was I even talking about? Oh yeah, Gotti. That's probably going to be another. That's going to be for another video when Matt's actually here, because holy moly, that was horrendous. But I'll get back to this. So I can say a plus for that Mr. Accident, I was not looking at the clock, and there was never a moment where I was like, how much longer does this movie have? So that's a huge plus, man. That is a huge plus. So with that, that's when I go into the negatives. I love slapstick comedy, man. This movie has so much slapstick, but it's not well done. I'm sorry, it's just not. Like when I'm watching like something like Peter Sellers and the Pink Panther movies, and there's all this wacky stuff happening, I'm just sitting there just dying laughing. I'm like, wow, they are brilliant. They're doing it perfectly. In this film, sadly, I wasn't laughing. There was a lot of wacky stuff going on, and I was not laughing. So I think a lot of it just had to do with the direction, the way that things were edited in the movie. It seemed like all the wackiness was not like nicely knit together, if you know what I'm saying, like editing wise. And I think a lot of that is the problem in this movie. One scene that I'll bring up is the scene when him and Sunday just had their date or whatever, and his car's all fucked up, and oil's shooting out of it and all that, and then while he's driving, like the gas is like leaking from his car, and at the same time he's like smoking, and he throws out his cigarette and of course it lands into the gas, and then as you see him driving, you see like the line of like gas and the fire going up. Like that sounds all great on paper, and then of course when he gets to his apartment, and then the gas finally comes up and blows his car all up. Like that sounds like a great gag. Like it should have made me laugh, but the problem is it didn't. And like I said, like a lot of the stuff in this movie that they do, it sounds fantastic on paper, man. I'm sure they were like, yeah, this is going to be a great sequence when they were writing it out. But it just wasn't well put together when it came to filming it and editing it. And I think that's what the biggest problem I have with this film is that, like I said, like a lot of these moments I probably would have been laughing at if another director or some other editor got his hands on it and actually did it right. So I think a lot of the problem with this film is that it should have been handled with a better director. Yahoo Serious, I mean, the guy only made 3 movies, and we haven't heard from him since, like, what is this, like 1999, 2000, this movie? So that tells you, people didn't want to see another Yahoo Serious movie, at least a lot of people after this movie. So I'm sorry. I would love to love this movie, people. I know all these people out there are yelling at me to embrace Yahoo Serious, but I just can't. I've seen 2 of his movies. I've of course seen Young Einstein, and of course I see Mr. Accident, and I can't say I'm impressed, man. I'm just not. I'm sorry, people, but I can definitely tell you I think better of this movie now after watching it. I previously gave this movie 2 embraces out of 10. I think now I will give it 4 embraces out of 10. It doesn't exactly hit the 5 mark because I felt that it's a comedy. I should be laughing. I'm not laughing. I laughed once or twice, and it just doesn't. All I can say is sorry to all the Yahoo Serious fans. I tried to like this movie. 4 going up from a 2 to a 4 to this movie. Should tell you that I gave it a chance, and it's a little bit better than I thought it was, but as a whole, it's not It's not a great movie. I'm sorry. So, with that, I will say good night. Thank you for if you made it through this point. Thank you. I'll try to keep making more and more videos as this coronavirus goes on, and stay safe, everyone. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.